Hello and welcome to Community with me, Melissa Sandfield. Today is March 30th, 2016, and of course it's Wednesday. If I'm here, I have three amazingly handsome men here. So this is very, very nice. They are three alpha men, literally. And I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to introduce them right now. Here we have Ray.
How you doing?
How are you? And then we have Bill on the other side. And then Mr. Dwayne.
How you doing?
Hello. So these gentlemen are here and they are part of the amazing Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And they're going to tell us all about it. Tell us about your role and any one of you just chime in whenever you're ready. Tell us about Alpha Phi Alpha. I know that Alpha Phi Alpha was started 109 years ago on December 4th, 1906. So I've done a little bit of homework.
Very impressive.
Yes. And I know that you were founded in New York at Cornell University.
Mm-hmm.
And that there's the seven jewels are the founding fathers, if you will. So chime in and let us know about how Alpha Phi Alpha really started and the movement that it took to get it going, because you are the first black fraternity. That says a lot. Let's talk about that.
Right. About 110 years ago, we had guys up at Cornell University, Ithaca, New York, and they had a study group going. Several of the members of the study group were also working in historically white fraternity houses. Those guys got the idea from that and said, it's time for us to start a historically black fraternity. Mm-hmm. So those guys, along with some other members, got together with the study group, and they formed what is now Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. And we initiated on December 4th, 1906, became incorporated, and now we have brought in over 170,000 men.
Wow.
Since our founding. And we have a host of historical figures with it in the fraternity, starting with like Thurgood Marshall, Martin Luther King,
yes,
and his two sons, the current Los Angeles City Council President Herb Wesson, mm-hmm, Mark Mario, the president of the National Urban League, Martin Luther King, Jesse Owens, yes, Thurgood Marshall, Roland Martin from
mm-hmm.
TV1.
Oh, good.
Cornel West, as you know, from which university is it? At Princeton University. Mm-hmm. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, Lionel Richie and his father,
yes,
Andrew Young, and we could go on and on.
On and on.
Yes.
So there's a lot of foundation that were laid by the seven jewels, and they paved the way pretty much. They were mm-hmm. trailblazers, and they set in stone the blueprint, if you will, for the alpha men that were to follow.
Exactly, and from that we one of our founders actually went out to other campuses. He started with our Beta chapter, which is down at Howard University.
Oh, wow.
And then they spread out to many other universities on the East Coast, and then spread out to the West Coast by 1927. Mm-hmm. So we were at UCLA, at USC, Stanford, Berkeley,
wow,
out here, and then back east, most of the colleges back there. We have several college presidents that are also in our membership, as well as 6 sitting congressmen.
Oh, I mean, that's amazing. When you say Alpha Phi Alpha, it carries some weight. It definitely does. Anyone that knows anything about fraternities knows what it means. So what does it mean to you to be an Alpha Phi Alpha member?
To be a leader, to be, like you said, a trailblazer. Really, the reason why I joined is to give back, as well as to have a brotherhood. I grew up in a single family. I didn't have any siblings, and so joining the fraternity, I had my brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And I'm still close with the brothers that I pledged with, and I've been in the fraternity now 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how can you join when you're like one?
Well, I didn't join. I joined.
Because you look like you're like 29.
No, I joined as a sophomore in college.
Oh wow, you look good. Alpha men must not must age really well. Cause look at Bill over there. Chime in, Bill.
Okay, well, to just add a little more to Alphadom, right now there are over 700 chapters throughout the United States and internationally. We have them in Korea, Japan. We also have them in Arabia. We have them all over the world.
In Asia, I read Asia.
Yeah,
Yes.
Asia. We have them all over, and so those chapters are active, and the ones here are active, and the whole premise of Alphadom is brotherhood and scholarship. And we can elaborate on that a little bit later, but we have been really instrumental in the civil rights movement throughout the history of the civil rights movement. E.B. Du Bois was a member of Alpha Phi Alpha.
Wow.
And he is the one that set up I believe the Crisis magazine for the NAACP.
Wow.
Yes.
And then we had one of the founders of the organization became the first president of the Urban League. So throughout the history of the United States, we have been very active in moving things along, and of course, Martin Luther King
What else
was
can
probably
you say?
one of our most famous members, and Thurgood Marshall, first Black Supreme Court Justice, and Alpha. So we have a rich heritage, and we're working today to keep that heritage alive and move it forward and make it relevant for today.
Yes. I think that the men who are alpha men, all of the alphas that I know are very strong men, and I believe that this is part of the training and your education. So you all stress academics, you stress brotherhood, leadership, being leaders, and these are the great things that we need in our society. We need men like that. So if you go to college, you have a place that will embrace you. You have brothers that will love you, and
push you and uplift you.
And I see these are lifelong friendships that you've built, right?
Absolutely.
Right, Dwayne?
Definitely. Some of my best friends are pretty much almost all my friends are alphas at this point, and most of them I've been hanging with since college, and that's been decades.
Oh God, not another one. I mean, these guys, they're pulling my leg here. This is wonderful to see you all. I mean, the question that I have right now is, which college did you all graduate from? Okay. You know what I mean? Like what brings you together to a certain chapter, because there are, like you said, over 700 chapters.
Right.
So what brings you together? Which school did you graduate from?
I graduated from the University of Washington in Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my undergraduate degree from Fresno State here in
Okay.
California.
And I went to University of California, Riverside.
Oh, good. And so how do you all end up in one chapter? Because you're all in the same chapter.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, let me just start off because I don't look that old. I just have a little gray hair. But basically, I was one of the founders of Mu Sigma Lambda back in 1977.
Oh, wow.
That's when this chapter was founded. And at that time, we were all young and felt we were progressive. We had been through the 60s, and we just felt that we had something to say, that we wanted to move things along and make the chapter of this chapter of Alpha more relevant to the students who were in college at that time. So we formed a chapter. We left the chapter that we were in. We formed this chapter, and now I believe we have about 30 active members who have come from college chapters. We're an alumni chapter, so there's a difference between alumni and college chapters, and Dwayne can kind of explain that because he's really active in all of that movement.
Yeah, basically, once you graduate from college, from undergrad college, 4-year college, then you matriculate into a graduate chapter.
Okay.
And from there, you're in the graduate chapter until you die, and then you go to our Omega chapter. So basically, once you join our organization, you are in it for the rest of your life and into your death.
Yeah, And just
Never out.
Just to kind of add, I mean, we all came together. I had been out of Alpha for a while, and I met some of the brothers. I had met some of the brothers 20 years ago, and so they said come to some meetings, and so I checked out different chapters, and this was the one that I felt most comfortable with.
Yes.
Kind of laid back guys. We're a small chapter, but we get a lot done.
Yes.
And that's what typically happens is you kind of gravitate towards the guys you feel most comfortable with or what they're doing in the community.
Okay. Well, I have a question that I don't know, but I want to know. The fraternities are kind of like paired up with the sororities. Is that true or no? Because they're like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're saying.
There's only one fraternity and sorority that has an official bond, and that's the Phi Beta Sigma and Zeta Phi Beta sorority. The rest of us have unofficial connections. Yes. Alpha Phi Alpha is unofficially connected with Alpha Kappa Alpha, and probably 56% of our wives are all AKAs.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you.
So that's what it happens. The Delta Sigma Theta is pretty much aligned with Omega Psi Phi. And Kappas, they're the pretty boys, so they don't have any sisters.
Kappas.
Right.
Okay, well, are any of you married?
Bill is.
I'm married.
Bill is married. Is she an AKA?
No, she's a Delta.
You broke the chain.
Well,
My ex-wife was a Delta too.
Oh, was she? Maybe that's why it didn't work. No, I'm just kidding.
so we don't have any binding affiliations, but
Right.
we're most aligned with the AKAs.
Right. I like I said, I didn't know what was official and unofficial, but I know they're kind of tied together.
Right.
Yeah.
Your colors are black and gold.
No gold.
So do you wear black and gold all the time, or as much as you can, or do you have any other colors in your wardrobes? Because
All of the above. I mean, but if we're doing official stuff, we like to dress in our colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and most of us will avoid colors of other organizations. It's not an official rule. It's nothing that we mandate, but like I probably won't be seen in a lot of red because that's Kappa Alpha Psi's colors.
Right.
Or I won't be seen in purple because that's Omega Psi Phi color.
Well, see,
Okay.
I don't look good in red. I
And
would
there's
wear
that.
that anyway. And
Right.
purple just never, fit me. And blue, that kind of brings me down. I love the blues, but it brings me down.
Right.
So, black and gold is rich. Gold is rich. Black is rich. And we're black leaders. So
Right. Well, that's wonderful. It's really great how everything ties in. With your organization, we spoke about leadership. We spoke about your great foundation. Isn't it true that the other fraternities have that same type of brotherhood and the sororities have that same type of sisterhood? They just have different principles? Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it kind of runs on a personality type. We're the first fraternity. We formed out of a study group. So most of our direction is toward education. In fact, our motto is go to high school, go to college.
Okay.
And as you know, we started 110 years ago, back when people were dropping out of middle school or elementary school to go work on their farms or do whatever
Right.
to help the family out. So back then, we were trying to get guys to not only graduate from like middle school, go to high school, graduate from high school, but also to go to college and graduate from college.
Okay.
Some of the other organizations started with more social aspects. We align with the Alpha Kappa Alpha because they're also the first sorority. They started in 1908, 2 years after us.
Okay.
And then the other fraternities and sororities, they began with other missions, other social type things. Sigma Gamma Rho, most of them are teachers and nurses, that type of
Okay.
thing. So It kind of runs on a personality type of thing.
Okay. So if I were going to college and I were going to pledge, like you said, you find the group that most suits you as
Yes.
far as
Right.
Yeah.
education, personality, and who you mesh the best with.
Right,
Exactly.
who you mess
Let
the
me- let me-
best with, and then we don't. At the end of the day, we just want our black young men and women to join an organization.
Right.
So if it happens to be Omega or Kappa, then so be it, because they are going to do things out in the community as well.
Yes.
So that's really what it's all about.
And we're all, based on doing things for the community, I would say.
Right.
And just to give you an example, when I went off to college, I knew nothing about fraternities. I was the first one in my family to go to college.
Oh, wow.
So just going to college itself was kind of big. And I went to college during the turbulent 60s. So basically, fraternities weren't the most popular thing in the world back then.
Right.
We were, demonstrating and trying to get equal rights and trying to get more students into college. But I was fortunate enough back then that I had some strong alumni chapter in Fresno. Most of the men had gone to school at Southern schools, and most of them were educators. And we had a couple of doctors and a couple of engineers, but the majority were educators, and they provided some strong leadership and guidance. And when I got involved in the fraternity, even when I was choosing, because there were other choices of fraternities I had in the community, but when you talk about Jackie Robinson, Jesse Owens, talk about Martin Luther King, I made my decision kind of based on that, because they were strong men that I'd known all of my life, known of all my life. So basically, that's how I made my decision to be an alpha. Plus, you can't ever be second when you're first.
Right.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to use it. I have another question that just came to me. If a young man enters college and he's thinking about joining a fraternity, what year do you think that he should join?
I would say,
Like, would you say something's too soon?
I would say probably a second year.
Second
South
year?
Because that first year, you really need to figure out school and the classes, have your routine down. And then your senior year, you're trying to graduate and get on out,
Okay.
to grad school or into a job. So I'd say sophomore
And
year.
we pretty don't allow you to join in your first year.
Oh, okay.
You have to be at least in your second year before. you can
Okay. Well, that's understandable. Well,
Right.
I was going to say I didn't go to college, but I did. I have an AA degree because I feel like for me, I was thinking, would I do education or would I work? And then I just kind of worked and then went to school a little bit. So I have AA, and then I took journalism at UCLA Extension for 4 years. That's why I'm here. I want to know which direction I would send someone in if someone said, "Oh, when should I join my sorority, Melissa?" And maybe I'd have some great advice for that young lady. Which direction to send her in second year sounds good.
Yeah, the second year would probably be, because the first year you're just trying to find where, excuse the expression, where the restroom's at.
Right.
You're trying to find your way to classes, and there's just so much going on. Plus the socialization of dealing with, that whole setup. So probably your sophomore year would be the peak period, and possibly if you missed your sophomore year, the junior year. But I would suggest that the sophomore year is probably when we try to connect with the students, because the first year there's just too much going on,
Right.
and they wouldn't, wouldn't understand. And maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but they would understand. But we want them to really get entrenched in college, because the most important thing to us is to make sure, and this is what we strive for, because the graduate chapters are kind of the father figures to the undergraduate chapters, and we have a chapter that we're affiliated with, undergraduate. So we try to make sure that those gentlemen graduate from college,
Right.
and we do what we can to mentor them, to find them financial aid, to find them study groups or whatever they need so they'll
Right.
graduate, because it's important that they get through school and that they have a support system, and we try to provide that.
So that brings us, that's a wonderful way to lead us into the next topic that I'm going to talk about, which is the service part of your organization.
Yes.
And I would like to officially thank you for this beautiful plaque that you have presented to Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles for sponsoring a scholarship. So tell us all about, this was an amazing luncheon. Well, no, it was a brunch.
Brunch, yes.
It's brunch.
I get it mixed up.
Founders Day brunch.
Founders Day
Founders Day
brunch. It was the 109th.
Yes.
Yes.
And there was a room full of men in gold and black. And it was an amazing day. Herb Wesson spoke. He was the keynote speaker. And we had an amazing time. And I actually saw the young men, and they looked just as strong as the alumni. And I was very, very impressed with everything that happened from the moment I walked into the door to the moment I left. Everyone there was a gentleman, 100% stand-up guys. And I want you to tell us all about the other things that you do for the young men in the community.
You want to?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So basically, as we were saying before, our goal really is to give back and uplift our young men. So we created within Music Lambda, and this is around the country, there's different chapters, different names, but our program is called Junior Gents. And so we work with young men, and we've taken it down this year to junior high, so 6th, 7th graders on up to seniors in high school. And we did that because we want to make more of an impact, and we think we can make more of an impact in the junior high age versus if we bring someone in at 17. And so what we do is we meet once a month, and we talk about life skills, how to tie a tie, etiquette. We go to a restaurant, we set up the china. How do you eat when you're in public?
Right.
We have a college workshop where we go up to UCLA. We have a money management workshop because you have to save money. You have to pay yourself.
Right.
So when you bring all this money in, you can't just buy gym shoes. You got to save some money because you're going to need it for that rainy day.
Yes.
And so our goal is to try to empower these young men by going through various modules, but also having fun. So we'll also go to the movies.
Right.
We'll go to Dodger games. We can't go to Laker games, but we go to Dodger games. And, we make it fun because it's not all. We don't want to just have total instruction, but we want them to feel comfortable coming to us and talking to us as well.
Right.
But our goal is to make sure that we empower them, help to build up their character and their confidence, because they need that out there. It's tough being black and brown in the United States, and that's typically what most of the boys are either black or brown.
So that sounds like mentorship with a purpose.
Yes.
Definitely. And our the last session we just had, we were at the LA Mission. So we also teach them to go out there, see how others are living, and basically give back to the community, because we all have a community service base as well.
Oh, good.
So that's one of the modules that we take our junior gents to. And we'll probably go back there again sometime this year.
So can I get a commitment for August 13th? I am going to the Union Rescue Mission at 11 a.m., and I am going to have in tow about 100 backpacks for the children there. And it would be great if we can get 4 or 5 gentlemen to come out
We'll
and
be there.
and help out. Or, we do face painting. We interact with the children. We have people there braiding hair, cutting hair. If we have anyone that knows how to cut hair, we want to get the children prepared for school. School will start 2 days after that, or 2 or 3 days after that. So August 13th at the Union Rescue Mission on the rooftop, we are planning to do that. So I plan on having some police officers there. If I can get some alphas there, that would be amazing.
We are committing right now.
We're committing right
Oh,
now.
good. Yay! So what else do you do? I know there, besides
That's a good
the
question.
young gents, there are many
Yeah,
other
there's
things that you
Junior
do.
Gents
Junior
is-
gents. I'm
Junior
sorry.
Gents is one of the programs that we established in this chapter, but it had another name, and that name was Black Seed. It started off as Black Seed about 35 years ago. So we've been carrying out this program for over 35 years.
Okay.
Before that time, we were doing programs, but they weren't really formalized programs. They were kind of informal. But we formalized it about 35 years ago, and then about 10 to 12 years ago, we changed it to junior gents. Okay, and it got more structured, and now we just got a grant, and Brother Kaiser could talk about that from the Department of Justice through the White House.
Oh, good. Yay.
The Department of Justice gave Alpha Phi Alpha nationally $1 million.
Wow, that's big news.
Okay, and then that was kind of broken down into chapters that were very active and had a track record of community service. Mm-hmm. And we had a track record, so they chose us as one of the chapters. But that whole process was set up because black youth in the United States, black men, black young men, are having a tougher time nowadays than they've really ever had, based on as far as we've come. Because now there are different kind of obstacles. You know, we've gotten past some of the obstacles that were obvious in the past, and now, you know, they're just victims of so many things. So the Justice Department wants to kind of study that, and they want to find out through the Obama administration what can be done to alleviate some of the problems that young black men face in the United States today. So that's kind of the crux of all of this program that we become part of. So we've expanded our program to include those parameters so that they can get the statistics that they need and they want to build on a program, an overall program for young black and brown men, young men throughout the nation. And so that's really what the program is all about, that we're a part of now. But we didn't deviate from what we were already doing because we've been doing it for so long. We felt very comfortable in what we were doing, so they decided to include what we're doing into what they're doing, and to really find out and get some statistical results on that. So
okay.
Right, and this is a free program that we offer to any kids in the Southern California area that can make it out to our programs. 100%
when and
free.
Where are they?
They're held at what's the new high school?
They're held at Johnny Cochran Middle School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's once a month, and the dates kind of fluctuate. So it's not every Saturday. It's just once a month on a Saturday from 12:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
With the exception of when we do the mission, and that's a 4-hour block.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we spend additional time with the kids one-on-one.
Oh, good.
And
Mentoring.
as both brothers intimated, our goal is with the Department of Justice really is we want to make sure that their grades go up. And so a lot of the tools that we have go towards academics.
Yes.
To track it, because we need to know what the grades are, and it's our job to say, you know what, Johnny, what's going on here?
Right.
You're not turning your assignments in, so we check in.
Right.
Right.
Dwayne?
So with that, we're able to do a lot in the community with these guys. And I don't know if, Ray, do you have our phone number? So that if anybody has a young male who wants to get in the program.
What are the ages again? Sixth grade and up?
6th grade up to 12th grade.
Oh, good.
And then after that, hopefully they will be going to college. Hopefully we will be able to supply them with one of our scholarships. Yes. We and all the Greek organizations give out scholarships. And to anybody that's going to a 4-year college.
Right.
So we really encourage the ones who are in our program plus outside our program to apply for it and get these scholarships and go.
Yes.
Right.
So our number is area code 424-254-9185. And this, once again, is 424-254-9185. And the scholarships that we offer, those are both for junior gents, but it's also for students outside.
Okay.
So they have to write an essay, a specific essay, and then we have a team that grades the essay.
Okay.
Last year we gave out 3 scholarships, $3,000, as well as we did our normal junior gents programs.
Okay.
Normally, our goal is to give between 12 and 15 scholarships out a year. They're what you call micro scholarships.
Yes.
Basically, they're $1,000 scholarships that just kind of fills a void that's maybe left that a student hasn't covered in what they need to go to college. So, but give you an example. When I was in college, I'd finished up everything, but I needed one class to graduate, and I was dead broke. I was on a basketball scholarship, but that was over. So I was trying to decide what I should do. So somebody told me that there was a scholarship available. So I went and applied. I got $500. That $500 got me through that summer to complete that last class,
Wow.
and I graduated. So
Good.
it really meant a lot because I was thinking about, maybe taking off a semester, but I just needed one class. But, once you take off a semester, then
It's hard to go back.
it's hard to go back. And that was the class I had to take was the hardest class that I'd ever taken in college. So I kept putting it off and putting it off. And when I got that $500, it kind of energized me, and I just went on and knocked that class out
Right. Okay.
and graduated.
Oh, good. All right. Well, let's shift gears to a flyer that someone just passed me.
As we said, we want to give out scholarships, so we have a fundraiser coming up, Derby Day. I grew up in Ohio, not too far from Louisville, Kentucky. So the Kentucky Derby Day is like a big deal. And what we're trying to do is it's our inaugural event. We want to do it year after year.
Oh, good.
But the goal is to get as many people to Santa Anita on May 7th from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. The proceeds from this event goes towards our scholarships and helps us fund our Junior Gents program. Once again, it's May 7th. That's a Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at Santa Anita. The cost is $60. You get a nice hot Southern cuisine lunch along with peach cobbler. There's mint juleps there. There's music. We want to make it an affair. We want you to put on your big hat, your seersucker suit, and look good.
And there will be live horse racing there, as well as televised horse racing back at the Kentucky Derby. And you can bet on those, and betting on them is fun.
Yes, it is. I love the horse races, so
You should be there.
I'm
Yes.
going to be there.
Okay.
I can commit.
Bring some friends.
Exactly.
I will. I'll do that because my friend, the owner of Roscoe's, his daughter is an alpha, so I'm sure she and I will come together.
Okay. That'll
So
be
I
beautiful.
can pretend that I'm an alpha for a day. So
Yeah,
I wear
you'll
pink
have
and
a great
green.
time. You'll
Yeah,
have
it's
a
going to
great
be a
time.
lot of fun. The races are always fun to see the horses come across that finish line,
yes.
and to see your horse win. Everyone's rooting for their particular horse, and like you say, this is Derby Day, right?
It's Derby Day.
So Derby Day is the day of all days to be at the
Exactly.
races.
One that you want to be at.
This is going to be a festival. We expect to have, we're doing this along with the AKAs, and we expect to have 350 to 400 people there.
Oh, good.
So we're really excited about it. This is the first year that we've done it, and we look to do this annually. In line with our scholarships, it takes money for these scholarships.
Yes.
So beside what each brother gives to the scholarships, we found that we have to go out because we want to eventually get up to at least 20 scholarships a year. And in order to do that, the day at the races is going to be one fundraiser that we
Yes.
have. And our Founders Day is another way that we raise money. And the third way is we have a used book sale that's been very successful.
Very
Okay.
successful.
We do that once a month now, and we do it in the community. Right now, we're doing it at Albertsons on Crenshaw.
Okay.
on Sundays.
Okay.
But I think Ray and Dwayne have been talking about maybe expanding that to Saturday and Sunday, because we found that Saturday is also a good day.
Okay. And what time is that and which Albertsons?
It's the Albertsons on Crenshaw and the Crenshaw Shopping Center.
Baldwin Hills Crenshaw.
All between King and Coliseum.
Yes.
Okay.
Right outside, right across from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes.
And the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Center.
Yes.
Right over there.
Right
And
over
what
there.
time?
And we usually start around 11 a.m.
No,
Go to
well,
5.
we set up
Earlier
around
than
8.
that.
We set up earlier, but we really start about 10:30, 11, and we go to 5.
Well, I have some books in my car I would love to
Well,
give
we-
you. They've
we-
been
we
love-
sloshing around,
we love
and they've
to
been
take
falling.
all-
Every time I make a left turn, books are falling over. And these are brand new books. So
Yeah, we
I'll
love
give
to
you.
have
I'll
them,
give
and,
you all about.
And,
I'll give you
we'll
about
use
10
them for our
books.
book sale, and we do pretty well with that. We're able to put together a lot of scholarships from the book sales as well.
Well, I'll donate 10 books.
Right, thank you.
I'll be happy to do it.
Yeah.
I was giving books to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House charities, and I've raised $1,800, $1,883
That's
in
great.
like 6 weeks. So I've done very well. My goal is
You're on your way.
Well, we're not adverse to doing a joint kind of venture with you, maybe at some point in time.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
always really nice to work together. My boss did not hesitate. Mr. Hudson did not hesitate when it came time to help out the Alphas. He did
Oh, yeah.
not hesitate.
He did not
And
hesitate at all.
we're really, really happy, and we're proud to have this plaque signifying our scholarship that we gave. And we want to make sure we do it again this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
Appreciate
well,
it.
also, you'll be getting another plaque. It's going to be different from that, but it will have the name of the specific recipient of the scholarship.
Oh, that's going to be
Yeah.
wonderful.
So when we choose a recipient, you'll get another plaque that has that on it. So
Oh,
you'll know the
good.
person's name, and we'll give you more additional information on that student, so that, and introduce them to you. So later on, there
Well,
may
that
be
would
a
be
connection
nice
there.
to maybe even do something for that young man throughout the year.
Yeah,
you
well, it
see.
doesn't have to be a young man. It could be a young woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In terms of the
We-
scholarship
yeah.
recipient, we open it up to
Oh,
high
okay.
school seniors.
Oh, good. Okay, well, I didn't know that part, but yeah, well, man or woman,
Yes.
a young man, young woman. I mean, it would be nice to meet them, and maybe we could
Right.
partner and do some things, because, of course, it takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
And once they turn 18, their life is not over. It's just really beginning.
That's
Yes.
right.
And we need to help them and encourage them as much as possible, because, like you say, there's so many outside distractions
Yes.
that can keep them from staying focused and on task. And we need to help. It's all of our responsibilities.
Right.
So we have a few minutes left, and I want to make sure we talk about the legacy of the Alpha Phi Alphas. Certainly, you gentlemen have continued to go down the right path, and I'm sure your founding fathers would be so proud of you and your organization today, because it is a different world than the alpha world that they started. The people are different, the world is different, and so I know that they would be proud. So what are your final thoughts, or anything you'd like to say about the legacy of alphas and your role in it, and what being an alpha male means to you?
I think that we just need to make sure we instill education and make sure that our young men their confidence is built up, because that's how they're going to stay straight and narrow, because it is tough out there. So it's education, it's making sure that their values are there, working with their families, because we always encourage the families to come to all of our events. Because it's like you said, it's a village.
It is.
Exactly. So that's from my standpoint. I'm the chapter president of Mu Sigma Lambda. I'm coming up at the end of my 2-year term.
Okay.
So I'll be in the back uplifting still, but that's how I've been leading.
Good.
And trying to get as much money in there as possible so we can help these young men.
United States.
We can hear you guys over there.
Okay. We're whispering to each other.
While Ray's talking, when we watch the tape back, we're going to hear, I'm going to say,
Sorry
that's
about
Bill, because Dwayne wasn't saying anything. That was you.
That
was you. So, Bill, tell us what being an alpha male means and the legacy that you'd like to leave.
Well, that one thing that can't be taken away from you is education. So that's always been important to men of alpha. That's been the top priority, to get as many people, young men, young women, educated as possible.
Yes.
Because, again, you can't take that away. And so our legacy, if along with everything else, is to move everybody up. Because when the tide rises, all boats float. So we're trying to get the tide to rise so the boats will float. Boats being, people.
Yes.
So, and through education and through the sharing of knowledge and through just socialization, we just kind of feel that is our target, and that is what we're trying to instill. And moving ahead is very important because we have challenges facing us, on a daily basis, and they'll never stop. So we just have to let people know that, and especially young people, because life is full of challenges. So there's small challenges every day, there are big challenges, and you just have to know that there are going to be challenges all the way to the grave. So basically, what you have to do is just be prepared for those. Education prepares you, gives you one step up on that.
Yes.
And then giving you the confidence to move ahead and working with you on that confidence is another thing. All of those things add up to having a successful life.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Well put.
And very well put.
And at the last thing, you want to leave your mark. One of the marks that this Alpha Phi Alpha has left is we spearheaded the building of the national monument, the Martin Luther King National Monument on the national lawn. We actually, with our partners, raised $125 million to build it and maintain it. We're also raising, I think, over $1 million for the National History Museum in D.C. Right. One of our first meeting places just became a National Historic Site up in Ithaca, New York. What else have we done? Oh, March of Dimes. March of Dimes, March for Babies. We are the second largest corporate donor to the March of Dimes and March of Babies. Last year, we gave $420,000 as an organization. So we're doing a lot of different things in the community to leave a mark. Our college guys, we partner with Google, Wells Fargo, Harley Davidson, Abercrombie and Fitch, and many, many other organizations to help our guys not only graduate from college, but have a job ready for them when they're done.
That's great.
And basically, our guys in college, our college Alpha Phi Alpha guys, they have zero unemployment. They all have opportunities.
That's
Sometimes
amazing.
we have to put off forming new alliances with organizations because we don't have enough guys to put in there.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they demand us. I mean, Wells Fargo wants us to send them 25 guys a year, and it's hard because, our guys, they want to become lawyers, they want to become doctors, they want to become educators, they want to do other things. So it's hard to get them all to go to one company.
Right. Well, that's certainly wonderful. I applaud each and every one of you, and I thank you for coming in. You have definitely made your mark in the Alpha Phi Alpha world. You are strong men and respected. If nothing else, like you say, you have your education, and you all are leaders. To mentor our young people in this day and age it's not easy. So to take children under your wings and really take accountability for them and for their actions and for their future, it's really remarkable. And I applaud each and every one of you.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
I thank you for coming. And Alpha Phi Alphas, they were here. They took my breath away. So smart, so talented, so handsome. I gotta throw that in there. They're wonderful men. And please give us your information one last time for anyone who may have missed it.
Derby Day is May 7th from 11 a.m. to 5:30 at the Santa Anita Race Park in Arcadia. Please come out. It'll be a great day at the races. Sears Circus suits, big hats, dresses. Number is 424-254-9185. We have tickets. Thank you.
And your information for the Junior Gent program, Junior Gents.
Yes, same number, 424-254-9185, or it's mu, Sigma, Lambda, 06@gmail.com.
Okay, we got
All
it.
right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming into the community with us today. The Alpha Phi Alphas were here, and I'm proud to know each and every one of them. And let's look out for our young men and our young women and think about sending them to the Junior Gents program where they can progress and have a wonderful life and have gentlemen who will embrace them and make sure they have a great education and a great future, which is what it's all about. I thank you for coming into the community, and I want you to have an amazing week. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.